Finagle. Howdy, hi, friends. Welcome back to my channel. Fresh cut, good vibes. Great. I'm recording this right before I go on a trip to Colombia. I'm going to Bogota, so I'm very excited about that. I might even do a little video review while I'm there. Probably not. And if I do, it'll be like 3 minutes long, because what do I really have to say about Colombia? I have a lot to say about relationships, though. So if you're new here, I go through Reddit relationship advice and give my opinions on it. If you've been watching so far in the series, don't forget to like and subscribe, comment your thoughts and opinions, and let's get into it. Okay, story number 1. Girlfriend, and we're doing 2 stories today, by the way, because Giz was running late to get to the airport. Story number 1. Girlfriend's ex begging for her back, and she said she needs time to think about it. I beg your pardon? Do I let her go? Yes. And this is a 26-year-old male that's saying this about his 26-year-old girlfriend. My girlfriend's ex has messaged her out of the blue and told her that... We're going to stop right here. It's always the out of the blue, right? Again, there is a difference between like, oh, we've been friends for a long time. We tried to date. And now we're trying to go back to friendship, but it's still a little weird because we used to date. So it's like a little meh, but we used to be friends. We were friends for years. Very different than you don't talk to this person anymore. And then out of the blue, they appear. Why are you coming back? For who? For why? The people want to know. Okay. My girlfriend's ex has messaged her out of the blue and told her that he still loves her and wants her back. They dated 2 years ago for a year. He sounds crazy or desperate. We've only been dating for 4 months long distance, and this is the first big obstacle. Ooh, long distance too? You can't even... Okay. She says she's going to meet up with him. I knew this was where it was going because of the title, but it's still... it's still shocking. She said she's going to meet up with him because he told her there was a reason why they broke up that she wasn't aware of. Okay, you know what? Okay. She wants answers, but is adamant she is not in love with him. Now, I know I was kind of talking crazy at the beginning. Hear me out. I get it. That sounds freaking juicy. There's something that you didn't know about our break. Ooh, what was it? And honestly, she made me happier. Like if it's like I cheated on you with 10 different women. Oh, you know what? I was happier not knowing. But if it was like your best friend was hitting on me and I was very tempted to be with her and I realized it wasn't fair to you, so I just panicked and I decided to leave. Because now I know my best friend is trash. I don't think that would open a door for me with him now, though. Because I'm like, why'd you run instead of like, I appreciate you not doing anything. And the example I made in my mind, that was the better scenario. But like, why couldn't you just come and talk to me about it? So there would be a lot to glean from that conversation. Overall, it's probably not worth it because you've moved on. But I'm not going to lie. I'm so curious. I wouldn't blame you. If I had a partner and they're like, I promise you I don't still love this person, but they told me this, I'd be like, yeah, girl, report back. But secret recording. I want to know. And that is a character flaw, maybe. Possibly. All right, let's go. Thank God these stories are short because I'd be going on tangents. Okay, she says she needs a week and a bit to come up with a decision, and she's discussing different scenarios with her friends. I know, because I'm like, what is it? The gossip. This terrifies me and didn't think it would need a week to settle on an outcome. To be fair, I feel like it's a week because it's like, am I better knowing? Do I think I can move on without knowing? And not move on, because I think was over it. Clearly, it's 2 years ago, and she's with you now. I think it's more of like, is it worth finding out this information? right? Is the gossip going to be worth it, right? Because there's one where it will you were happier not knowing, and there's one where you're like, actually, I'm glad I knew. Because what if she thought the breakup was something she did, and then she finds out, like, or she's like, I think it was this, and she gets confirmation on that. That just feels good. I remember a friend when he apologized to me once. He was debating back and forth if he should, and then he said something very interesting. He's like, "Who doesn't want to be apologized to? Who doesn't want to hear like, yeah, you were right?" I said, "That's fair. That's fair." Okay. I was planning to see her the next month or two. All right, you're long distance, but now things are flown out the window, and I'm wondering, do I just let her go and let them be together now? Before I get really hurt, I think you're being a little dramatic because she never said, I need to see if things could still work out with him if there's a spark. She said, I'm not interested. And again, to be fair, I get why she's interested. That's such fish hook. And like I think you're allowed to be upset. Like it shouldn't matter you're with me now. I think you're fully allowed to have that opinion. I think it is kind of like, okay, bruh. To be like, if you just want to be with him, be with him. Like that's not what this is about. And like if you stop being in your feelings a little bit and try to look objectively, you can see that that's not what it's like really about. They're trying to come up with different scenarios. It's juicy. It's juicy. I've been doing the same things with my girlfriends. I've been saying this with my guy friends. The straight ones love to hear it. Come on now. They be invested in my drama. All right, update. I just want to clarify. She did not cheat on me that I know of, but this is reassuring to know that it clearly is a weird thing to be asked to be okay with. I agree. It is a weird thing to be asked to be okay with. I think he did put that update probably from the comments and stuff. One of the comments says, I don't commonly interject, but disrespect here is palatable. I completely agree. The thing about it is, I know why she's curious. Like, I fully get it, which is why I've been kiki and haha, but it's not right. It's not. I wouldn't do it. The only way I would feel comfortable is if what I said as a joke, but like, I would say it as a joke, and I hope my partner would take it seriously, where it's like a secretly record it so I can hear. Oh, and I also forgot that he says that he still loves her, which is crazy. First, she needs to say, that's not going to happen. But if you want to explain to me and meet up and talk to me about this big secret, okay, right? I think there's a world in which you can find closure for, not even closure, where you can get the good deets. I don't care about closure. I think closure is overrated. What do you need closure for? You left him. I just want to know what happened. It is fully gossip. And I think you need to see, I was like, if that's true for her, where she's just like, bitch, I just want the tea. You know what? Like, okay. I know why you feel awkward about it. There's a world in which, and I think the hard part is I'm kind of thinking about it for myself and a lot of the friends that I have. There's definitely a world in which she's secretly still interested and wants to get more information, but it's not the only option. I think talking to her and understanding what she plans on getting from this conversation will fully reveal to you whether or not it's good intentions or not. So that's my recommendation. Ask, what do you plan on getting out of this situation, or this conversation, and what do you hope becomes an outcome? If it's to rekindle, if it is to reconcile, if it is to move on, I have issues. You had 2 years for this 1 year relationship and you can't move on? No. If it's to get context, if it's to get tea, move forward, brethren. All right, one more story. Also, guys, I'm going to do a little plug. If you've been watching The Love is Blind Season 8 for the US, I recently did a review about episodes 1 through 9. I'll probably, after the reunion comes out, give another review. Did mess up. I mixed up Mason. There was Ben that was, the TikTok was made about, not Mason. I might have some slightly different feelings about Mason. He might not be as, I think he's a guy that can easily get caught up, but he might have a good heart. Might. We'll see. I don't think he's a bad person. I never thought he was like a bad person, but we'll see how it turns out. Dave is exactly who I thought he was. Is his sister real? I don't think so. If she ever appears, paid actor. Fight me. Okay, now actually story number 2. All right, my 26-year-old male girlfriend, 26-year-old female, made way more money than she let on. Okay. My girlfriend and I have been dating for over a year. This morning, I was looking at part time jobs on Indeed for some extra money for the summer and to pay off some debt faster. Nice. She saw that I brought up that she actually makes 70K a year without working. I beg your pardon? Her actual job pays more than that. I only make 60K a year. Okay, so she has a job that you knew about that pays, I'm assuming, less than 60K. And you just found out that she has additional 70K a year without working. The reason she told me finally was because she doesn't want me to work 7 days a week. So she'll start chipping in for groceries. Ooh, okay. I was under the impression that she only had one income, but that she was struggling due to old debt and new medical debt. Okay. I've been buying all the groceries since we've moved in together last year and paying for us to go out most of the time, about 90%. I got pretty upset when she told me how much she actually makes because it's over double my income. Yeah. But she never has any money. That's also a red flag in itself. Remember, a big reason for most divorces, I mean, I know they're only girlfriend, boyfriend, but like that usually leads to being a fiance and then being married. A big reason for that is financial troubles, and like not being honest with your partner about your finances is very, very dangerous. So for me, it's always just like if you don't feel comfortable talking about money or being transparent about it, it's not cohesive, or not it's not conducive to having a sustainable long-term relationship. And it's only weird if you make it weird. Fun fact. I've had to cover her portion of rent twice now, but one and one of her credit cards. I did it assuming she'll pay me back, which she said she would, but still. And she now can magically chip in for groceries the same day. Yeah, and I'm looking for a second job. It hurts me that she has the ability to pay for stuff all this time, but I always said she can't cover it. I feel like this is the last straw for me, and I'm tapping out of the relationship. Yeah, I understand. Edit. The money is coming from a trust fund left to her by her deceased parents. That makes sense, right? So she's still working a job, but she's getting 70K a year, because of like probably the life insurance policy, which won't be forever, I imagine. But probably for a good amount of time. What like a trust for your kids, 20, 30 years? I think it would be a good amount of time. It's not gonna be like, oh yeah, you only get 5 years of this. I don't think that would be the case if it's 70K a year. Um, why this needed to be a secret at this point of relationship, IDK. Yeah, did you say how long you were together? No. Oh, we've been dating for over a year. Dating for over a year and you're living together. I think so. I don't think she needs to disclose at this point of relationship, even though you're living together, until you start talking about marriage. I don't think she has to disclose that she has this money coming from a trust from her parents. But I do think that she needs to. I do think she has been. I don't want to say financial like abuse, but she's no. I don't want to say abuse. She's been taking advantage of you financially, and that's jacked up because right. You even say like, oh, I said this was a problem, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, sure, I can chip in, and even like there's the traditional like guy pays for girl and that kind of things, but especially when you're living together and in today's economy, I feel like there's been more of a conversation about like what does it look like to be like more equally yoked in a household. They didn't talk about the division of labor, what that looks like. And I get like having this money come in, but also still needing to like pay off debts. And does she have debts from the medical parents? And like, what does that look like? But you have to be able to communicate that. And the fact that she was like, I can just chip in more with groceries and just didn't do that, especially because it's split in the house that you guys are living in together or the place that you guys are living in together, is very concerning. It's like, well, if we're planning on working to live a life together and we're actually living a life together, as in we're living in the same place, then why are you allowing me to take the brunt of everything when you have the capacity to do more, right? And it's just like and it seems like you don't have a lot of money, and it's like, is that true? Because you're hemorrhaging because of the medical bills of your parents. Is that a lie, right? When you aren't honest from up front and you make a very clear distinction about what you can contribute, and also just being a good partner. Like, treat him sometimes, you know? But when you don't lead with honesty and then you reveal things, then all of a sudden it's like, well, how can I trust you? How can I trust that you are actually hemorrhaging from medical bills? How can I trust that you are facing a lot of debt? How do I know you're just not pocketing this money for a rainy day or until, right? So this is why honesty is the best policy, and you always got to start it early. You guys could be okay. Let me see if there's any comments here that are interesting. Turns out it's death benefits from her parents. IDK White needs to be a secret. I don't want her money. I just want her to go half on living expenses. That's what OP said. And then, is it a one-time payment? It seems like it's going to be over the course of 10 years. And he says 10 years that she is squandering. Absolutely. Like, especially if you're like hemorrhaging with money, if you're able to do like high index savings funds, right? That's the kind of money you get, and you're like, okay, how do I do this from a sustainability point for long term? Like doing a high index yield fund, a savings fund, like securing things for the future for yourself would be more beneficial. I'd like to look at the finances, and apparently so would OP. So with that, I would say open conversation. And I think you guys might need to do like a couples therapy to talk about it and meet with a financial advisor. I think all those things need to occur. Okay. So friends, that's all for today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And I will see you guys soon. Bye.